1984, I graduated from high school. I was a music major. I was an athlete. But growing up in the inner city and going to school was something that wasn't, my focus. I did attend junior college, but I had to drop out because, again, I had 3 younger brothers, and I had a mother that was on her run and a father that just wasn't there, even though he only lived across the street. And I chose to participate in illegal activities because I felt like I had to take care of my family. And on this journey, I was portrayed as a monster. I had over 25 arrests. I was charged with first-degree murder, assault on police, drug trafficking, everything you can imagine. The crazy thing was, every time I would go to court, these cases were being dismissed. And at the time, it didn't even dawn on me what was being done to me as a black man. I was thinking, I'm walking out of the courtroom, cases dismissed. But what I didn't know was, when you walk out of the courtroom and if you don't go to the clerk's office and say, I want to file for my expungement, every time I was applying for school or jobs, every last charge would be there. So when I started my own business, I applied for a handgun and I was denied. And I remember appealing it, and I had to go to the sheriff's office or whatever, and they said, why would someone like you need a handgun? I said, well, I transport a lot of money. And every last one of those charges were there. So for year after year after year, imagine every job I would apply for, each one of these cases would appear. So why would somebody give me an opportunity? And then I'm a black man. So I have all of this going on, and then a crazy thing happened. The HBO show The Wire comes to Baltimore. I get casted as an extra. I go to David Simon and say, hey, I would love to write for your show. I have a whole bunch of insight on the drug trade. He laughed at me. He literally laughed at me and said, you've never written anything before. No one would take you serious. He said, I couldn't even look at your material because you could sue me. And at the time, I took it as though I was being disrespected, but he really was just being honest with me. That intel inspired me to attend Morgan State University because I was tired of people telling me no. So I went to Morgan State, I got in, I signed up for the theater department, and I met, my new family. It was the first time I felt I wasn't being judged. I saw people who looked like me. I saw gay people who accepted me. I saw other students from different states who accepted me. And I felt it was the first time that I could put the streets behind me, because I felt like my whole life acting was what I was doing because I wasn't raised to be a street dealer. But I did what I had to do to survive. And upon getting at Morgan, I'll never forget, as a freshman, my professor said, what are you gonna do for your senior project? And I said, I'm gonna write and direct my own stage play. And she said, what makes you think you can do this? So at the time, I'm a freshman. I throw Tyler Perry's name out there. And she said, really? So that's who you compare your work to? But at the time, I didn't know about, August Wilson. I didn't know about Lorraine Hansberry. So once I got to Morgan, it just opened up so many doors. My junior year, I interned with Bill Cosby. My senior year, my play went on. Theater Saves Lives was created because when I wrote this play, it was about all of the things that inner city kids deal with. But the name Theater Saves Lives came about because there was this student named Diamond Williams who was 16. And once we finished the play, she was murdered. She was 16, straight A student. This 19-year-old young man slit her throat from ear to ear, and then he blew his own brains out. So I knew my work was not done. And that's how Theater Saves Lives came about. And ever since, that's been my mission, to educate, change the narrative, and show our black kids that there's a better way.